I'm your host, Destiny Sidwell.
I'm also your host, Sarah Caroli.
And this is Bookmark'd. Today I went, I need to wash my hair and I don't want to put any makeup on. How can I make myself look presentable? Headband.
The headband's really, really cute. It's really cute.
Thanks. It's going to slide off my head 5 times. This headband won't stay on. Headbands won't stay on my head.
That's okay. I think it looks really cute. That's like a perfect when you need to get your hair washed. Wouldn't even be able to tell. I need mine bad though. I wash my hair. Everyone should be thankful. Slick back. You always say that you don't look good in slick backs and headbands every time you do it, but you look so cute in both of them. I love when you do either one.
I have a complex. I can't help it. It's just the way I am.
I feel the same. That's me and my hat, but like we've overcome that. So I think the more you do it,
you and your hat is a love story for the ages.
It kind of is.
It kind of is. It's like you do the hair tuck. Like, yeah, I know. This is how we.
We're perfect enemies to lovers.
Yeah, truly. Me and Sarah were almost enemies in that Aritzia. I know that we've recounted this story so many times, but the way me and her were going back and forth.
Buy the goddamn hat.
And then she bought the hat and we continued to argue about it for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I was having very big, is it imposter syndrome? Like I just didn't feel like I was me in the hat. I wore it all day though. And then I wore it the next day.
It's like the SpongeBob. I've been into SpongeBob. I need to stop. Literally, do you know what I did on Valentine's Day? Isaac was like, oh, what do you want to watch? And I was like, I'll turn on SpongeBob movie.
Aw. That's a great movie, though. It's one of the top movies.
Humor ahead of its time. It's adult in the perfect way. Like, yes, I am laughing out loud. Them going to Goofy Goobers and being drunk on ice cream.
So good. Yeah, I need to watch that again now that I'm older. Because I've watched that so much when I was younger because my brother loved SpongeBob, but I need to get into that now.
It's my comfort movie. Get into that. Hey, get into this.
I was going to ask how your Valentine's weekend was. What did you guys do?
Okay. Valentine's Day weekend. It was Valen weekend for those of you who don't know. It's the new Hollow weekend. Just kidding. But that is what it turned into ultimately. So, what was it? Friday was Valentine's Day? Right? Yeah. Well, Sunday, there was a big marathon here in Austin, and our friends were running in it. So, me and Isaac had nothing to do with that. In case anybody was wondering where that was going, we had nothing to do with it. So,
thank you for that. Thanks for letting us know.
But they ran it. So, that was happening on Sunday. Friday, we just kind of like... I told you guys last week, me and Isaac just kind of chill. Like, that's our Valentine's Day. Okay, hey, 1 second. I'm a very chill person. I don't love to go out and do stuff. I'm very much introverted. I don't like being in loud, packed places. And since people flew in to Austin to run this marathon, I mean, downtown, like, we were driving around, and I'm on Saturday, or no, yeah, it was Saturday. It was packed everywhere. Like, traffic was so bad, and I was like... And I did not want to be out. I was so tired. And we went to dinner. And we all know, babes with anxiety, you look up the menu beforehand. And I was like, I am getting this. We go to the restaurant. They had a small menu for Valentine's Day that had like 4 things on it. None of them I wanted. None of them were the things I wanted. Yes, and then Isaac's like, Isaac can adjust. He can adjust. Love him for that. He's like, oh yeah, that's not a big deal. Me, into the world. I was sitting there just staring at the menu. He was like, there's only 4 options. You should be able to pick. And I was like, I don't want any of them though. I had my pick. So we did that, and then Sunday we went out. I could not tell you guys the last time I had pizza. I could tell you last time I had pizza. Sarah's house. I forget where. Yeah, when we got that pizza, and I was like, "This is really good." Yes, and then before that,
huge news. Pizza's
that's
good.
What I'm saying. No, and the thing is, I love certain types of pizza. I like the New York style pizza that's very thin, and you don't see that a lot here.
The best one here.
That's the best one. Is very thin. That's what I've always liked, and they just don't have those in pizza shops. Well, me and Isaac were downtown, and we went to this pizza place that we always see. It was so good. I looked at him and I said, oh my God, I love this pizza. And so we went and did that, and then came home. I started a new show. I started a few new shows. Did I?
Nice.
Am I lying? Hold on. I think I did start a few new shows. And that's literally all I did. What
Sounds very
you?
relaxing.
How did your Valentine's Day weekend go?
Well, first we do the same. Well, for when it's like a holiday, I always like, when we're making reservations, look if they have a prefix menu, because I am the same way. 'Cause whenever they have one that's like set appetizer, entree, dessert, or whatever, like I never end up liking anything, and they usually say on those menus like no substitutions, and I'm over here, I always say, hey, no tomato or whatever. So we had to make sure we found a place that no prefix menu. But we we're going to the city, but we went the day before, so we went Thursday, and that was really fun. We got there, we hung out, we went to a little event, we went to dinner was delicious, and then after dinner my stomach started hurting. I was like, okay, I ate too much, whatever. I slept it off, we went right to bed, and then the next morning it started hurting like pretty bad again. I was like, damn, I didn't digest any of that. Like, still hurts from dinner.
Wait, can I just say, I love that you were like, probably ate too much. The second that my stomach starts hurting, that well, it's not new because it's been around, but the norovirus is going around, convinced I have it. Second, even just like a mild little like, I'm like, oh my God, it's the end for me. It's the end.
Well, I just assumed since I've been having stomach problems the past few weeks, I was like, it's always going to be something. So I assumed it was just the food, because we did get a lot. We were really hungry. So the next morning, Chris had work. He went on like a call. Then he went to the gym. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to my mom. I'm going to get my croissant, whatever. And usually I'll get like a matcha. But when I got there, I had no appetite, at all. I brought my little book. So I got a water. I was like, okay, a water's going to help me. I got a peppermint tea and a croissant. I sat by myself on the chair, I read a little bit, and I couldn't eat the croissant. And I was like, what is going on? Why am I not hungry? And I didn't drink the tea. I don't think I ended up drinking it. I just like chugged the water, and stomach's still hurting. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to the room and complain to Chris and see what he has to say, because I think he can fix everything. So back in the room, I told him, I was like, I just don't feel good. And at this point, it would come in phases. Like I have no appetite and it would hurt, and then like 10 minutes later I'm like, okay, I think I'm fine. So I was like, okay, bad stomach ache. Chris is like, okay, probably bad stomach ache. We're on the same wavelength right now. And I sit there for a little. He's getting like changed and getting ready for like the day, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm fine now. Like it passed. So he's like, okay, we can do whatever you want to do now. It's Valentine's Day. We hand each other cards, or like, what's the plan? Because we didn't plan anything. And I was like, let's just go walk around. Let's shop. It'll pass. I want to go to Aritzia. I really do. And we go shopping, go to Aritzia, and then he didn't eat all day. It was like 2:00 at that point, and he wanted to get some lunch. So we walked into some random place, and he orders a burger, and I couldn't even look at the menu. Couldn't look at the restaurant. I was looking out the window. I was watching people walk by. He's getting his food. He ordered me fries. He's like, you have to eat. And I was like, I can't look at that right now. I will throw up if I look at your food. That's when he knew. He's like, okay, we're going to go back to the room after this. And I was like, yeah, maybe we should. We get back to the room, and I immediately go in the shower, and I was in there for a really long time. Like, I just couldn't move. And that when I got in there, like, it hit me. Like, my body started feeling tired. My head started hurting. I just, like, sat in the shower for a really long time. And I got out. I wrapped my hair in a towel. I laid in bed, and I took a nap. And I fell asleep. And then when I woke back up, I still really didn't feel good. Like, at this point, it got really bad. Worst headache ever. Started getting nauseous, and I was like, okay, now I feel like I might like throw up. And Chris was like, I'm gonna pack up our stuff, I'm gonna check us out, and we're gonna go home. Like, we're not making it through Valentine's Day. And I was like, okay, you're right. And I felt so bad, because like we had plans. It's Valentine's Day, like we're gonna go our separate ways now. He's gonna drop me off at home, and he's gonna go home. I just felt so bad. And we were leaving the city, and at this point we got in the car. He got me into the car, and usually it takes us an hour to get home. It said on the clock it would take us like an hour and 40 minutes. And I was like, oh my God. And I think you texted me and you asked how Valentine's Day was going.
Yeah.
And I was like, probably not good. Yeah. I told her I was like in traffic, in so much pain. And it was like, we're trying to just get to the tunnel. It took like over 30 minutes. It was horrible. It was so bad. Chris was like trying to play Zane and Heath podcast, but that wasn't doing anything. So we were in the car for like 2 hours. And the whole time, like I'm either crying, like making like grunting noises, because it hurt so bad. Like it literally felt, I don't know. It just really, really hurt. Everything was hurting. My like was so nauseous, and he was like opening the window for me. It was so bad. And then as soon as we pull into the driveway 2 hours later, I run out of the car and run into my house, and then I started crying, and then I ran upstairs and I just threw up for a couple minutes. Like it just hit me as soon as we got into my driveway. I didn't even say anything, just ran into the house. And I literally told Chris, I was like, if I was in that car for another minute, it would have been your car. It would not have made it to the bathroom. And when I got home, my mom told me that the day before she had the same thing. She was also sick, pretty sick. So the whole weekend it was just me and her sitting on the couch, sick as dogs. We think we had the stomach virus. We both had it. So
Yeah.
it was horrible. It was the worst feeling ever. And I was so scared Chris was going to get it, but he never ended up getting it. Thank God. 'Cause it was like the worst feeling I've ever had. And I haven't thrown up in like years. Like I just don't throw up. I also like feel like don't really get like sick often. So it was horrible. So horrible. And it like slowly, gradually came and then just hit me all at once. Ugh.
I didn't know. Well, because here's the thing. Every year, it's like the flu and the stomach bug is around like the winter time. That's just always what I call it, but I guess it is the norovirus. And I didn't even know this was a thing. When my mom was here, I came across a post of somebody talking about it in the comments. Genuinely, like, have you ever seen a post in the comments is just what makes it funny? Everybody in the comments was talking about, like, somebody said this almost killed my whole entire family. Like, it went through the house and just, like, talking about it.
Yeah.
So now it's my
Obliterates
biggest
everyone.
fear. It's my biggest fear right now because I'm like, I genuinely, like, how you were talking about, like, sitting in the car. If that was me, I would be the most insufferable person because I'm terrified of throwing up. So if I felt like I had to throw up, I would be sobbing. I would have been sobbing for...
Yeah,
oh my
I
God.
was. I have a picture of me crying. I sent it to my mom. I was like, we have to get home faster. It was. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. It was really bad. But the thing is, as soon as I threw up and laid in bed, it like I didn't pass, but like I did not feel as bad as I like did at like the peak of it.
Yeah.
Like I just had like a headache and a stomach ache and like no appetite for another like 24 hours. But then after that, me and my mom were like both fine. Like we're just eating again and
Yeah.
it passed.
Well, that's
It
how
was
that
just so
usually
crazy.
is. Like your stomach bug, like I used to get them all the time in high school, like every winter. And it would be like, I would wake up, mine would always hit in the middle of the night. Like I would wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And like I've told you guys so many times, I refuse to throw up. So if I throw up, it's because like you genuinely can't hold it anymore. Similar to how you said you ran upstairs and you were like, yeah, I have to throw up. So I just will refuse. And I remember like you throw up a little bit and then you just feel like crap for a few hours. But you throw up for like a little bit and then you don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah, it's like you hit the worst of it.
Yeah.
And then you like come down from it. Yeah. Horrible experience. And I was just so sad the timing of it was horrible.
Yeah, that does suck, but at least it was like you guys got a good day before. Like it would have been really bad if it would have been like you got to the city and then that happened. Like at least you had the good day before.
That's what Chris said.
And-
Plus, we can do it another time. It doesn't have to be on Valentine's Day.
And you know what? Like maybe you avoided something having to leave the city early. Like you never
That's
know.
what Chris said. Something could have happened. Maybe it happened for a reason. I said, well, that's mean because it hurt a lot.
That's really mean because that really was not fun for me, but
No.
maybe it saved from something more catastrophic. Who knows?
Couldn't even imagine. Well, that was my I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. Let us know
Yeah.
your Valentine's Day plans. What's your DOTE today? You got anything good?
I just have some water that I actually just ran out of, so now I'm not going to have a DOTE for the rest of the episode, but that's fine.
Do you want to fill it up?
It'll take me a while.
Okay. I have a green tea, and I actually well, first, this cup is so cute. It's the color combo we love. It's red and pink, and it's like the
I got
metal.
that same cup.
And it's amazing. Let me tell you why. One, color combo, beautiful, perfect. But it's like the metal insulated. So I made my tea and I was like, this is perfect because it'll stay hot all day.
Yeah.
I brewed this at 10 and I put the lid on, but I kept the cap like open from like the mouth hole so like the steam could come out a little and cool down. I just was able to start drinking it. What time is it? 1:45. That's how hot this kept it. Oh my God, this thing works magic.
Yeah.
I finally could start drinking it. I don't know what brand it is. Is it like a... Well, Burga sent it to us. So I don't know if Burga... Does Burga sell these?
I feel like they do because that's their print.
Oh my God, wait, guys. Not to influence you, but I'm trying to influence you. This cup is amazing.
Let me see. I didn't even think about this.
I just thought that they put their like print on a mug and sent it in like the gift bags, the gift boxes. But now I need to see if they sell it. Oh my god, they sell it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought that was the whole entire point, because I also got, the notebook.
Yeah, the notebook was cute. I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's strawberry jam travel mug. If you want to keep your coffee hot, your tea hot, or I guess
I think I have
cold too.
I think I have like phone case in that.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I have the phone case in that. Yeah, with the
match
little
your
ring
drink,
thing.
your drink to your notebook to your case to your phone case.
Yeah.
And this podcast is sponsored by Burga. I'm kidding. It's not.
Please, Burga, reach out.
We love Burga.
I literally was about to say something, and has it ever left your mind immediately after you were about to say it?
Yep. But you can't think about it because it won't come back. You have to just let it go.
Yep.
And if it's meant to be, it'll come back. Well, I'm serious.
You love something, let it go.
In like 10 minutes, you're going to say it. We went to dinner last night, me and my mom, and I don't know what we were talking about, but she couldn't
Loved
think
the
of the
vibe.
word. It was amazing. Me and my mom love us when we go to dinner. She was also, two things about last night. First one, she couldn't think of this word. So we ended the conversation. I was like, because I knew what she was saying. She didn't need to find the word. Like 45 minutes go by. We're like mid-combo, like mid-sentence, and she says the word. And she says like bruise or something like that. Bruise. I was like, Mom, what are you talking about? But
I feel her though.
her.
I feel her
Yeah.
though. Because I also, even after the conversation is gone, I have to circle back. One thing about me, always circling back.
Yeah, because you have to like let them know that you found the word. The other thing was funny because it was her first time at this restaurant. It's like one of my favorites, so I was so excited to see if she would like it. And we got pizza, back to pizza, and she's so picky. Like my mom is really picky. She's like her own food critic. And this pizza, she said it's the best pizza she's ever had. And I said, that's the highest praise you can give someone because you never say that. And it was like a pie of like, I don't know, 6 or 8 slices. And I had like 2 at that point. And there was 3 left. And I went to go grab another. She said, no, we're bringing this home for later because I love it so much. You can't have another slice. Oh my gosh, she kills me. I mean, I had other food. I was really excited. But I had that pizza. I have it so often. But she loved it so much. She was like, this is for me for tomorrow, actually.
Yeah. And you know what? Good for her setting boundaries.
Yeah.
It also
Queen.
reminds me of when we were eating said pizza. That was so good. Last time I had ate pizza at your house. And your mom was like, I want the crust. And I just tore the crust off my pizza and handed it to her.
She loves a crust. Anytime me and Chris are eating pizza, she waits for us to give her
That is
crust.
so crazy because I never eat the crust. Ever.
Oh, really? I like the crust. Chris doesn't, so I eat his crust. Or my
It's
mom.
so plain. I have to dip it in something.
Yeah, that's true. I like a
You know.
good crust, though.
You know
Yeah.
what's crazy? Me and Isaac found out that we think this is just a Midwest thing. And it's going to sound gross to people who, I guess, I don't know if it's a thing anywhere else. All growing up, anywhere we go for pizza in Indiana, like I'm talking about even like Papa John's, or if you go to any pizza place, they sell cheese, like melted cheese, to put your breadsticks in. Like that's what you dip like breadsticks or something in.
Like a little tub of cheese?
Like it's like a cup of cheese.
Okay.
And that's what you dip your
Like
breadsticks
when you dip like
in.
your fries in cheese, like a cheese fry?
Yeah. Like if you're got like a cheese cup, that's like what you dip your breadsticks in. And me and Isaac love getting it sounds so crazy, but that is the yellow cheese. It's good if you've grown up with it. That's just the thing. And now when me and Isaac go somewhere that's not Indiana and we're like, oh, do you have cheese? And they're like, what? Because when we went to the pizza place, Isaac got garlic knots and he was like, well, what sauces do you guys have? No, he was asking for the sauce, but we wanted breadsticks because we just wanted regular breadsticks. And they're like, yeah, we don't do breadsticks. And we were like, okay, well, we'll just get the garlic knots. And Isaac was like, well, what sauces do you have? And then we just sparked the conversation of like, isn't it so weird that we eat cheese with breadsticks? But it's because our favorite pizza place does pepperoni filled breadsticks and you dip it in the it's good. It's good.
Well,
it sounds gross.
Pizza places here don't do that, but I have been to a few restaurants that I like, and they have breadsticks, and you dip them in, I think it's called beer cheese. I don't know exactly what kind of cheese. It's not like a yellow cheese. It's like a white cheese, but that's really good. So I know it tastes good, but I think like a garlic knot in cheese just sounds wrong to me. I feel like a garlic knot in red sauce.
Well, no, that's what we got, but we were like, what sauces do you have? Like, do you have, because I didn't like marinara, and I thought if they had like a There literally is a garlic sauce that some pizza places have, so we were asking for it, and I was like, oh, no, it's fine. I'll do the marinara. I just ate them plain. I hate marinara sauce so much.
Yeah, I feel like you guys over by Indiana have some interesting, like,
No,
food
we
combo,
have-
drink combo
yeah.
things. Because I just feel like every time you bring up, like, a new soda or a new combo, I just know it's coming from the origin of where you're from. Like, it's coming from
Or
Indiana.
Utah. My mom finds these things that people do in Utah 24/7. Like, when she came to visit me, she was like,
Yeah, I saw
got yeah. And remember when me, you, and Haley went to LVI, and I was talking about water talk, and you guys were like blank staring
idea
at
what
me, and
you're
you're like,
talking about.
what are you talking about?
It makes sense now. Like, I'm glad your mom picked up on it because I liked when she showed the boxes that she likes.
Yep.
Like, it makes more sense to me now what water talk was. Like, it's just flavored water.
Yeah, they just take different. But some people, my mom does not do this, but the actual water talk women, they take like 2 or 3 of those packets with a big Stanley cup, and then they put like syrups that you use for like coffee in it. So they'll have like coconut, raspberry, pineapple, and I'm like, listen, I love y'all. Do whatever you want. It's juice. It's no longer water at that point.
Yeah, I think. I didn't know. Yeah, I don't think. I would try. See, I would try these different drinks, but for me, I like just like a plain. Like, I'm not mixing anything together.
No, I only do
sure
that
it
if I
tastes
want a
good.
fun drink. Like, if I want a little fun drink to break up the monotony of just plain water, I'll do
Yeah.
it, but I'm not like, oh, I'm drinking water right now. Like,
No,
I
you're
don't,
not.
Because I'm not.
Well, I wrote down a note of a lot of book news. Not sure if you've clocked any of these.
One of them, if you clocked what I clocked, I
have
almost
5.
texted you a whole paragraph about one thing that
Oh.
I'm thinking of. So we'll see if you bring it up.
I don't think I'm going to because these don't
Okay.
feel like they're going to have a response like that, but I'll go through
Okay.
these and let me know. Okay.
Yeah, I will.
First
You know.
one. Yeah. First one I'm really excited about just because the premise of this sounds very interesting. This is a new book by Olivia Blake called Girl Dinner. Have you seen this?
I liked this post. It was very interesting. The one about like cannibal. Was it?
Yes. She said, hold on, it's not loading.
It's a commentary. It's not like.
Yeah, so it says the one where the cannibal sorority tries to decide who to eat for dinner, but she says, for the record, this is a satire about feminine power and wellness, closer to psychological thriller than horror. It's about the decision to eat, not the act of eating. I don't do gore, but I do love puns, which I think is going to be fun. And the cover is really cute.
Yeah, I liked the cover, but when I first read it, it really reminded me of Bunny by Mona Awad, just with like the
I thought the same
sorority
thing.
and like kind of twisted. But I think Bunny is a lot darker than what Olivia Blake will
Yeah.
get into.
I would say Bunny probably goes more towards the horror, and she says she's not going to really go there. But the cover with the fork and the little blood and the pink, I think it's a really cute
I love
cover.
it. I love
But
it.
I'm really excited about this because she also has a new book coming out this year, and I haven't read a book by her since. I think the last one was
Gifted and Talented.
Yeah, that one I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I read what's the vampire one, the urban fantasy one for my
One
enemy.
for my enemy.
Yeah, I think that was the last one I read by her, and her writing is very unique, so I'm very excited about that.
It's
one.
very pretty writing. Sometimes I have to be in the mood for that type of writing though, because I have to think a little bit harder because she's like very profound in her writing. Like when we read Alone with You in the Ether, I had to
Yeah.
really be thinking about that one, and I really did enjoy it because of the commentary that is in that book, which I feel like she does a lot. But you have to really think with her books.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing
So-
wrong with it. It's just for me, it's like a time.
Yeah, I definitely have to be in the mood for her writing. I read the Atlas 6 and liked that one too, but that's the first one I have.
I don't know if I liked the Atlas 6. I read the Atlas 6 and it was like, I think I had only ever read the first Cruel Prince book and maybe From Blood and Ash. And that was the only type of like fantasy. And I literally have the self-published, the Atlas 6. So I read it when it like was whatever. And I remember I didn't really love it, but it was because I had never read fantasy before. So I didn't really like understand. Like I had never read fantasy in my life. Like I just read dystopian. Even as a child, so.
It's an interesting type of fantasy because I liked that book. The parts that I liked had nothing to do with like the schooling that the characters were in. That part, I think she got a bit too like scientific into that world and confused me. But I do like it. I like her writing, so this one sounds fun. The next one I have is, sorry, I put the links in, so there's no names. I just have to open the Instagram post. Oh, okay. This one is Holly Jackson's new book and cover reveal. It's called Not Quite Dead Yet. The cover, I like the cover. I can't tell, like, the shape. Okay, it's like trees. It's like woods in like a circle. And I'm assuming that's just like the neighborhood, maybe? I don't really know. I also don't really know what this is about or when it's coming out because the post is not telling me.
I think it was just an announcement, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? It says cover reveal. Jet might be not quite dead yet, but I am. Look at this incredible cover.
Yeah.
I love her. Pre-orders are open now. So there's no summary?
I'm reading the People article, and there's not a whole lot.
Oh, I see. Oh, Goodreads has it. It says... Oh, it's a first novel for adults. A twisty thriller about a young woman trying to solve her own murder. Yeah, 27-year-old. So this is not going to be a YA mystery. That's going to be interesting. Oh my god, it's set around on Halloween night. Jet is violently attacked by an unseen intruder. Oh, perfect for Halloween spooky season. Yeah.
I'm very interested because I always said how Holly Jackson writes young adult books that I feel like there's a line in young adult that like thriller authors like don't cross, and I feel like she always kind of tiptoed over that line a little bit in like things that she would put in her books. Not that it was like super mature, but I always said it would be interesting to see her take on like an adult, like what she would do in an adult thriller, since she pushes those boundaries with young adult.
She can go full out now in the adult with like,
if she's done what she did in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, who freaking knows what she's going to do in an adult book.
We shall see. It comes out in July, but I think I'm going to hold off until spooky season to read this one.
Oh, yeah. You know what I've been, yeah. So, yeah.
It's incredible.
Yep. I know, profound thinking over here. I was about to say, I've started to do this where, for example, with a book like that, I don't think I will run out and buy it. I'll just read it on the Kindle because I don't want the hardcover of it. I just want the paperback.
That's valid. What do I have? Oh, the reappearance of Rachel Price. I had as a hardcover.
Yeah.
Next news that I have is the last book in the Rose Hill series cover reveal. We got the title coming September 9th. It's called Wild Card. I wanted to ask what color you think it's going to be because we have pink, orange, and green now.
I thought it was going to be blue. This whole entire time I thought it was going to be like a dark royal blue. At least one. I'm like
trying to... I would love her to do a really pretty yellow. I think that would be really cute.
True.
Really cute.
This is crazy because she did the same thing with this book that I remember talking about with Wild Love, because Wild Love wasn't even out yet, and then she announced
and released
Wild Eyes, right? Wild Eyes, and like when that's going to release, and then was it Wild Eyes hadn't even released yet, and then she said, oh, Wild Side is coming out, and now she's like, now this book is coming out, and it's within the same year. Like, she's kind of brought out those two books within the same year.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting, the timing of it. Like, I'm assuming they have a reasoning of why they're doing it, but for me, it doesn't make sense because Wild Side comes out in like a week and a half. Like, it comes out very, very soon, and revealing this like a week and a half from that, I feel like either they're thinking like it's going to give more attention to the series just in general, so people are going to like go up to Wild Side. But to me, it's like people are going to get excited for the next one, and they're not even going to be thinking about Wild Side. You know what I mean? So I feel like announce it after people are like finishing Wild Side, because then it's like, oh, you finished that, here's the next one.
I also understand why though, because I remember when I read Wild Eyes that I knew that all the information was already out for Wild Side, so then I went in, and you know, like when you finish a book on the Kindle and it's like, this is the next book, like I feel like that's why they do it that way. I feel like when readers see that another book's coming out, it gets them interested. That way it's already announced. Like,
well, you know what would be fun is like you're reading Wild Side, whether it's like the physical copy or Kindle, and then at the end it just says, now here's the title reveal for the next one. Like, you have to read Wild Side and then you get the reveal. I think that would be fun. Like your little Easter egg is at the end of the book.
I just feel like so many people don't. Like me, gonna be honest, as soon as I finish a book, like when I see its acknowledgements, most of the time I just shut the book and I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always read the authors or acknowledgements. I like skim through like who they're thinking of stuff, but I like to see what they're, because sometimes authors are like funny and they'll put a funny little paragraph or quote or something, and then I'm out of there.
I'll read an author's note, but usually the acknowledgements I skip because I'm like, oh, just finish this book.
Yeah.
Close.
Click out. Okay, so you think it's gonna be a blue, and I think it's gonna be a yellow. Also, who do you think the couple is? Because I don't remember who we have left. So I guess when we read Wild Side, we'll definitely know.
Maybe it's somebody. No, wait. It has to be somebody in that group of the bowling team because they're all single dad.
I just don't remember who the next, who was,
It's the one guy they all hate. Remember? In the bowling team, that one guy that, I don't know if he's in the bowling team or if he's just in the league. And I remember they described he had, dark hair or something. And they all, hate him when he shows up at the bowling alley.
It'll refresh my memory as soon as I start Wild Side and we get to a bowling scene. Yep.
They didn't really have bowling scenes in Wild Eyes.
Yeah, I feel like the first one had the most. I guess because they were introducing that they're all on a bowling team. But I love that. I love these dads getting together, going bowling. Give me more.
It's a whole entire thing, and it was weird because, oh my gosh, what's the guy from Wild Eyes? I'm blanking, but he was the one who made Ford do the team. So then we get to his book and it's not even mentioned. I was like, where is this bowling team at?
I'm excited to see the wrestling in Wild Side though, because when I was younger, from maybe sometime in elementary school, very young, maybe 8, my brother was really into wrestling, so he got me really into wrestling, and every Friday we would wait for the WWE shows, the things to come on, and we were into it. I didn't know it was fake. The Undertaker, everyone, I loved them. So for some reason I think I'm gonna love this one because wrestling feels nostalgic to me.
Yeah.
Well, I have, I think, 2 more. Yes, this one might not be exciting because I don't know if you've read this, but I liked the art that's with this, which I think this author does a really good job with, and that's the 4th book of Lightlark was announced. The name and
Alex Astor, yes.
The art, yeah. She posted a reel, and I think it's called Grim and Oro Dueling Crowns edition is what she posted it, and let me try to screenshot the art that she's having. Both of these characters' point of views, half is one character's, then the other half is the other character's, but I really like the art that she does with her special editions of books. I think she has really pretty ones, and these are beautiful.
Is it not the girl's point of view?
I think it's just their story, maybe. I didn't read the 3rd one yet, so I don't really know what's going into this one. I didn't really read too much of what this one's about, but the edges are beautiful. The art of the characters are really pretty. The covers with the sun and the moon. It just makes sense with the story, and I think it's really, really pretty. So it's making me want to read the 3rd one.
Yeah, I really like that too. I like that. I just have this thing where sometimes if I haven't already started the series, I want to wait till it's completely finished.
Yeah, which I think this series, they said it was going to be 6 or 7 books. People thought it was originally just going to be a trilogy, and then she announced that now there's going to be it's going to be a whole thing. Which after reading the 2nd one, I don't know where the 3rd one obviously goes. I saw people were a bit disappointed with it. That's why I didn't go or read it right after the 2nd one, but I just can't I don't know what in that world where are we gonna go. Maybe when it was announced, she knew it was gonna be 6 or 7 books, but people assumed it was a trilogy. I don't really know where it was all kind of announced, if she ever said it was a trilogy or not. I think people just thought.
I was saying that, but actually ACOTAR was meant to be a trilogy. And then she just continued on with the series. But
really?
It was originally just supposed to be the first 3 books, which makes sense if you've read ACOTAR. It feels like a lot of finality in the end of the 3rd book, and then the next 2 books. Honestly, A Court of Silver Flames, when I think back on it, I don't think I would ever reread it because it's just it feels like we're doing, I don't know. It feels like it does nothing for the actual plot of ACOTAR because it feels like we did what we needed to do with the first 3 books.
Yeah. She's just expanding the world and giving other characters their point of view. That's Shatter Me and Red Rising. Aren't both of those you can read it's an original trilogy and then it just keeps going. Yeah. Well, I just really like the art of that one. I saw the video and I was like, that's really pretty.
Yeah, that is very beautiful.
This next one, I only read the 1st book in this series, which I thought this one was only going to be a trilogy, and then I saw this, which is another Tara Mafi book in the This Woven Kingdom.
Yep. I was literally about to say that. I knew that's what you're talking about.
This one's called Every Spiral. What? Every Spiral of Fate, and the covers of this series they're beautiful. I really love them, and all together, the colors are beautiful. I only read the 1st one, and I didn't love it, but then a lot of people liked as it kept going, so it's intrigued me to want to get back into it. But the cover of this, I think the color is beautiful. It's a
Yep.
You saw it? It's a really minty green and has like
I really like the second. Is it
dragon.
the second book that's pink? I remember always seeing that book in store, and I was like, "That's so
I
pretty."
think it's either the second or the third, but they're all like next to each other. Yeah, the second one's pink, and then the third one's this like beautiful purple and
Oh
pink.
yeah, I was about to say. I feel like there's a purple one in there. It's like yellow, pink, purple.
Mm-hmm. And now this like beautiful. They're like all pastel-y, and I really like that. But I really want to get back into this series because I've been seeing a lot of people really enjoying like as it keeps going.
You know what I was thinking about? I was literally thinking about this because I've been rereading some of my favorite books, and I was thinking of the books that have gotten announced that they were going to get made into movies, and then we've heard nothing about them.
Wait, what did you say? What books? Just in general?
Like, yeah, just in general, like the Love Hypothesis.
Yeah, but that's the thing where it's like just because the rights are bought doesn't mean anything can happen with it, which is like they either can do something with it or they can release it. And I guess I wonder though, when they buy the rights, do you think in the contract it's like we have them for like 10 years? Or
I feel
like
like
5
it
years?
is something like that. I feel like there's a clause of like you can only have the rights for so long, and if you do nothing with them, then like they go back up. For...
Yeah, like give me back.
Yeah,
Give me that back. Yeah,
maybe.
I think it would have
Maybe
to.
some people can't convince that, but
Because I just can't imagine an author giving rights to their books away for like indefinitely and just like
No.
sitting on that.
I was thinking about. I think all of Emily Henry's, how all of her books have gotten picked up for adaptations. I think all of those are getting made into movies. I think those are. I think it's like the equivalent of like a Nicholas Sparks. How like so many of his books have gotten adapted into movies. Like they just know it'll work.
Yeah, what's gonna be funny is how like we're gonna get People Meet on Vacation like first, but then she has so many other books that are going to be in production. Like we're gonna be in our like 30s, and Emily Henry movies are still gonna be coming out because they're not gonna be releasing so often. Like it's just it's
No.
gonna take a while between each one. So I think that'll be interesting. Like she's gonna have so many, well, not so many more books, but like other books out and like movies still coming out. So we've got some years with Miss Emily Henry.
Well,
Thankfully.
even with Taylor Jenkins Reid, how we got Daisy Jones and the Six, but even before Daisy Jones and the Six, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was like in production to be like actually in production. Because I remember when they were doing interviews with the cast of Daisy Jones and the Six, and the girl who plays Camilla was like, I would like to be Evelyn Hugo. Like, I would love to play Evelyn Hugo. And I was like, girl, this is a universe. Respect it. You can't do two characters because she lives in the universe that you're in. You
Yeah, I
killed it
wonder,
as
like,
Camilla.
In like Emily Henry's movies that are coming out, like I wonder in Happy Place, are they gonna have like a cameo of the characters in like Beach Read or whatever, like when they officially have the movies done and the casting picked?
I think she'll do the same thing that she does in the books. Like, I just reread Happy Place and how she, like, discusses, like, I think maybe if there's the scene of them in the bookstore and they're talking about January and Gus and, like, how they wrote their book, I think that would be the type of thing. Because it's the same thing where they're all in the same universe.
Yeah. I think that's so fun. And I like how she does it where it's not like interconnected, like you don't have to read one to read the other. It's just like
No.
if you've read them, you can pick up on it. I think
That's it. Yeah, I was about to
that's
say, you
nice.
also have to have read the other books to pick up on
Yeah.
what she's saying. Because even, like, I think the deepest cut was in Funny Story when she talks about how they... Was it that they shared the canoes with Alex and Poppy? But Alex and Poppy were going by their, like, code name thing that they do. And so if you didn't read People Meet on Vacation and know about their alter ego that they do, then you don't even know that that's Alex and Poppy
Yeah.
that they were with.
And it comes so quick. It's just like one page. You either pick up on it or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for her new book. Really excited. I've been wanting to reread Funny Story so bad. So
See,
bad.
I'm not rereading it until I get it in paperback because I don't want to reread it hardcover. I'm genuinely like, no.
That's valid.
I can't do it, but I am excited for the new release. I've been seeing people who have like gotten arcs. First of all, I want to say, what did you sacrifice to get that?
I also wonder, like, how do you are you married to someone on her team?
I see people getting these arcs, and the jealousy that courses through my veins is like no other. Like, if I see, okay, the top arcs that I see people getting that just makes my blood boil with jealousy is the Great Big Beautiful Life arc, people getting the Atmosphere arc, if anybody's getting the new Abby Jimenez arc, and what else is it? I'm trying to think. I feel like there's another one that I'm missing.
I feel like there's like a good and bad with getting, like, let's just say you get Great Big Beautiful Life. It's like you're reading it before everyone. You can have your own opinion. You can, for your own thoughts, like figure out how you feel about it without like a new release hype. And like when Funny Story came out, everyone's reading it and like you kind of are like blinded by everyone saying 5-star or whatever. And then the other side is like, it's so exciting when everyone wakes up on an Emily Henry release day and you know, like, we're all going to the bookstore today and we're all going to pick up this book and start reading it at the same time and start talking about it together. So I think there's a beautiful side to both of it. Like
There
reading it early or
is.
not.
However, I remember last year running to the bookstore and it's like, why am I so embarrassed to just exist? I remember being so embarrassed that like I saw other people getting it and I was so embarrassed. I don't know why. Like there's nothing wrong with it. And I didn't think anything of these people getting the book. I'm just like, actually.
Because they know that you're excited and they know why you're picking this book up today.
Oh,
they know too much.
I'm rereading Yours Truly and one of Jacob's inner dialogues about how like, even though it probably isn't a big moment for somebody else, he's going to think about something for like 10 years down the road. Like the fact that I still think about that is just because I'm like, I can't handle being a normal person. And this is like, so I usually now, if there's a release I'm excited for, I pre-order it and I just read it on my Kindle, but I'll get the physical copy pre-ordered to my house. I
never pre-order a book. I think the only one I pre-ordered was Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, and I even forgot that I did that, so I went out and bought it, and then it got delivered a few days later. I was like, what? When did I do this?
Sometimes I do that. Unfortunately, I think I did that with Onyx Storm and Reckless. I forgot that I pre-ordered it.
Well, I know it like helps the author like seeing how many people are pre-ordering it, but like for me, like this is the same thing when I read like Throne of Glass or like any type of series. Like I feel like it's a reward to go to the bookstore and get the next one. Like I'll never buy a full series. So when it's a new release, I am so excited to wake up and go to the bookstore. It's like I have something fun to do and look forward to get the new release. Like I don't want it delivering to my doorstep. Like I want to make it an event. I want to go get it.
I wish I was like that. I feel like I used to be like that, but now I'm such a hermit that I'm like, I don't even want to go outside. Like I don't even think I can do it. I definitely just need to get out of that because it's not even like anything to do with anything in the book world. Just like I don't want to leave my house. So, but I have always been though the person that buys the whole entire series because I don't want to have to like get up and go to the bookstore. I just want to be able to like reach over and grab the next book. I don't.
Which I understand that. I understand when people do that. I love like knowing when I'm done I can go reward myself.
Which is fun. It's fun.
It is fun. I wonder what's the next like new release that's coming out like the soonest. I think it is Wildside. And
Wildside, and then once we get, it's again April, isn't it? April's another month of like how it was last year.
I think March. We're going to March. March has also Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. That, and it also has K.L. Walther has a new book. But yeah, going into April, that's when this is going to start kicking up. So, yeah. Well, but I'm excited.
Like how April was last year when everybody was freaking out. Well, there was, hair's going crazy. Taming 7, Abby Jimenez's Just for the Summer, Emily Henry's Funny Story, Elsie Silver had Wild Love. Like, it was all
Yeah, happening. I wonder why April is such, like, a big release.
Publishing month? I don't know.
Publishing, yeah. I feel like it's every year. It's always, like, April and May. Maybe, like, getting ready for, like, going into summer, they like their books coming out then. I don't know. I wish I knew, like, the background lore of all of this so bad. I always wish I knew.
That's what I wanted to go to school for. I should have just continued going to school so I knew all this information for us.
It's never too late. You're going to have to go back and let us know.
Go back to school for us. I've got to do the work for us to figure this out.
Yeah, that's all the book stuff I've seen this week. I saw the trend reread, rewrite. I forgot what the other word was.
Isn't it like throw out?
It was something like that, but I wanted it to be cohesive because it all has like reread and rewrite with it. So we have reread, rewrite, and reshelve, which basically means I asked you guys to send me books, and we're gonna say whether we would reread them, we would rewrite them, or we would reshelve them, which basically means like put them back on the shelf or give them back to the bookstore. Like we're getting rid of them. So we're gonna do a little speed round, a fun little game. Here are the books that you guys have given us. Normal people.
We just say which one it would be?
Yeah. I know you recently reread it. 'Cause I think for this one, I would reread because I also read this like 4 years ago. So I think at different stages, this book feels different.
I would reread because I deeply relate to Connell on a very painful level. And sometimes it's triggering. But sometimes it's very comforting to watch something be put into words that you have these big feelings, and like watching somebody else be able to put those feelings into words in a way that you never could be able to.
That's my favorite thing when I find something in a book where the author just like, it's like I have an ephany. I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly how I feel. It's like, how do you know that?
Epiphany. Oh my gosh, remember when I played that song in the car and I said, oh, Destiny, try not to be sad challenge. I was trying to skip it.
Mm-hmm. I think that always happens. Funny story.
Reread, we just said this, but I want to give her another shot.
I would reread this one 100%. Actually,
well, you love it.
I do love it. I just wanted to know if you would rewrite it.
I don't think so. I think all of Emily Henry's books are different. Like, rereading Happy Place, I was like, I just feel like Happy Place, you can't even put it on the same pedestal as, like, Beach Read and Book Lovers, because I feel like it's more rom-com-y than anything, like the banter and the relationship. But Happy Place is so deeply emotional. Like, it's so, like, the friendship and relationship and also personal, like, people-pleasing and all of that stuff that's written about in the book. Like, it just feels so much more emotional than romance.
I think it also has a bit of, like, a heavier topic theme with one of the characters. Or, like, they both go through it together. Yeah. One more than the other. But Funny Story has things that the characters go through that I feel like could feel deeper. It's
confusing for me, though. Like, for Funny Story, I don't know if it's emotional or if it's rom-com. Like, I was flipping through it the other day and I was like, I don't know. I would have to reread it to, like, understand the book again.
Can't wait for you to reread it. I'm trying to pick ones that we would... Oh, Red Rising.
I would just reshelve it. I just wouldn't even waste my time. It sounds so bad. I said that I can appreciate what he's done with world building, and I think it takes a lot to do something like that, but I just don't care.
I would rewrite it, but, like, not, like, the whole entire thing. I think I would, like, push the beginning of the book in a little bit because I think I'm the only person that really loved the beginning of the book, and I think it all happened way too quick.
Intriguing. Like,
right? It got me and I liked it. So I think I would push that in, make that, like, prolonged a little bit, and then I would make it longer of him becoming, you know, his next step, because that's also interesting, and all of a sudden that's just, like, not
it's like
that
a
long.
blip.
Yeah, it's too quick. I think that's one of the most interesting parts of the book, and all of a sudden it's just not... it's not prolonged enough.
I feel like the beginning, we needed more character development with one of the characters that you don't spend a lot of time with. And that needs to be explained with that character being whatever. Yeah. And also him going through everything needs to be explained more. Cause it was just...
And then the last 60% I would make shorter. Take out
because it was way too long.
Yeah, way too long. You lost me. You completely... I'm done. I'm out. I'm walking away. I would make that shorter and I would just push everything back and then cut out some part of the ending. And then I think the pacing of that would be perfect. And I think I would have really enjoyed it, actually, and I would have continued.
Yeah, but then I don't know how you would have rewrote the second book, because the second book just feels like...
Yeah. I can't think that far because I haven't gotten there, but I never will, probably, most likely. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
I would reread. I love that book. And honestly, sometimes when I really like a book, I want to reread it, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's a 5-star, but it's not a 5-star in a way other 5 stars are 5 stars. But I want to reread it because I'm like, I don't know. I remember sobbing my eyes out with that book. Like, I remember just sitting in my bed, just being tore to shreds, like, at the end of that book. I was like, what is going on?
I liked that book. I would not reread it, though, so I don't know. I guess I would rewrite it because there were some parts that I guess they were meant to be frustrating, but for me it was the romantic interest that ended up, like, I was rooting for a different outcome of the characters, and I think that's just where I wanted it to end, and that was just what I was hoping for, and that's not what happened, and it got very traumatic very quickly. But I really liked the actual book, but I wouldn't reread it, I don't think. Caraval.
I would just leave it where it's at. I would just reshelve it. I just don't care enough at all to reread it or rewrite it. It's fine.
Yeah.
The pacing's good. It's like a very quick read.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
I agree. I don't think there's anything to really read. I think it does what it's supposed to do. I wouldn't reread it though, so I'd probably reshelve it. Binding 13.
I've reread that book literally 3 times in the span of only having read it like 2 years ago, so I would just reread it. However, it was a jump scare when I reread Binding 13 a few months ago, and even though I've reread it so many times, I was like, I forget that Johnny, how he is at the very beginning of the series. Like, he's kind of...
Thank you. It's weird. The beginning of the book is weird.
Yeah, I like was rereading it, and I don't remember if it made it to the reading vlog, but I went on a whole rant where I was like, wow, I just forgot what type of guy he is in the first, like, even in
I was talking about what happened to him in the beginning. Like, he could have injured any other part of his body.
No, that was,
to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't understand. It was such a big part of the book, too. It was really weird. But I also just mean, like, how he was. Like, he's obviously, okay, character development. But I forgot, like, the whole entire first book and even, like, some of the second book, I was like, wow, I forgot how he was. It was a completely different character.
See, I think I have so much FOMO for not loving this series. You have no idea. You already know I have FOMO of everything in the book world. I always have to know. I'm starting to get more FOMO. Like, because everyone, even people that I have similar, like the most similar taste to, love it. They love it so much. I don't know what's wrong with me, so I think I would have to reread it. I feel like one day it might happen.
Well, I also feel like you read it, and back then, it was never talked about what happens in those books, ever.
No.
Like, I remember when I picked them up, I had no clue that that was going to be a thing. Nobody ever even spoke that that was something that happened in the books.
No, I picked up on it when the book started. Obviously, they kind of tell you, but, like, I didn't realize how much into it, like, you get in. But, yeah, I think at one point I'm going to have to just reread. Shatter Me.
It can stay on the shelf. I don't even, like, there's not even anything I would just rewrite about it. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I think that's just what it is.
I would reshelve it only because it was perfect when I read it. Like, I was maybe like a year into like reading again, and I feel like that point of my reading journey, it was just like the perfect series to binge.
Yeah.
And I think now, like, I just want to leave it where it is.
Sometimes you need to leave books in the time, especially when they're categorized like that, like where you left them. I remember the videos coming out and watching you and Haley love them, and I was like, ooh. Like, I was just so, like, they're okay. Like, I didn't hate them and I didn't love them, but I was like, I do not see why we're, like,
yeah, they're just, like, really, really fast-paced, really entertaining, and I think it was, like, the only series I was able to, like, not get tired of or, like, burnt out after, like, 7 books, and, like, I'm still ready for the next one.
See, to me, it was so repetitive. The same way that I think that Reckless was so repetitive, like, that's how I felt with all of the Shatter Me books to a certain point.
Yeah, I could see that.
I feel like the first 3 books were okay. Like, they were pretty original. And then once we got into the series, it just felt like the same exact format. The entirety of the book where I was just like...
The Prison Healer?
I haven't even finished that series. It's sitting.
No, just the first one.
Oh, never. Oh, my God. I would never put myself through that again. Like, and saying that, it sounds like it's a horrible book. It's not. The pacing is just so god-awful.
Yeah,
like, the book is not even bad. It's just that... Like, the stuff that happens in the book is not bad. It's just that the book drags on. And, I mean, it's so mundane. And the monotony of it is just, like, I can't do it.
Totally agree. I would rewrite it. And, like you said, the pacing. I would just have more things happening in the book so it wasn't so brutal to, like, get to the end. Yeah. I think I would just put a little bit more exciting things.
Isn't the whole entire thing, like, she has to take the place of the queen in the trials, y'all?
Yeah.
That's like barely a part of the book.
Yeah,
like, not to be whatever,
really
it's barely there. And they make it out like it's the whole, like, you think that maybe there's gonna be, like, you know, we've read books like this before, like, for example, Serpent and Wings of the Night. Like, you think it's gonna be a trials thing? Don't get your hopes up.
Let's do like 2 or 3 more. Iron Flame. Wait, I didn't read that. I'll do 4th one, you can do Iron Flame.
I would rewrite Iron Flame 100%. I would rewrite a lot of Iron Flame.
I feel like a lot of people would probably pick rewrite for Iron Flame. I don't know what I would do.
I would
before
make the Empyrean series a trilogy.
Yeah, I think that I love one thing. I love a duology. I'm reading Rebel Witch right now, and I cannot wait after this is done. Like, we're done with the duology. You put so much in the second one. It's so fast paced because you got to get it all done. Like, not in like a rushing way. I just love a duology so much.
I love a duology to a trilogy. I'm kind of over the like super like I feel like if the fantasy series is like an over 4 book series, it has to be like a lot going on. The world has to be big. Building. Like, and there has to be a big villain that you're trying to defeat.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why saying villain is so funny. Just like in real life, in reality, it's like the villain. Let's do A Little Life.
Oh, I'm always going to put myself through the pain of rereading that book. I don't even care. I obviously don't love myself enough.
Oh God, I don't know what I would do. I'm trying to think.
No, that book messed you up so much. I don't think you should ever reread that book because it imprints in your brain, like Jacob on Renesmee.
I actually, like, I'm thinking now, like, since I'm in, like, a good headspace, like, where I was when I was reading that book, it took me, like, 10 days to read because I would step outside, and if a truck drove by me, like, I would, like, want to vomit. I would get so nauseous. I would, like, driving behind one, and I'd be like, I gotta pull over. It was so bad. Okay, so I wouldn't reread it, but the thing is, I don't think I would rewrite it because then I would have to go through the content and figure out what to rewrite. So I'm putting it back on my shelf. I'm going to reshelve it and let it stay where it is.
I remember when I was in high school and I read it for the first time, and I brought the book to school and I read it within.
High school's crazy.
It was my senior year of high school, and I remember bringing in the brick of a book, and I would sit in the office and read it, and I remember finishing it within like 2 to 3 days.
Crazy. Did I tell you my dad read it recently?
Is your dad okay?
Like, yeah, which is so interesting. He texted me before Christmas this was, and he said, like, he actually watched one of my Bookmas videos recommending books, but I said A Little Life is so heavy, like, don't go out and buy this. And he said, I like heavy books. Should I read this? And I said, no. Yeah. I told him no. But he says that he can handle that stuff well, so he's between, like, that and the Kristen Hanna book, and he ended up buying it. And when I came for Christmas, he, like, finished it by that point, and he was fine. I mean, he said it's like a messed up book. Like, he can understand where we all come from, but like he can handle, I guess, way better than I can. I was like, bruh, I was in the trenches for so long.
That book's so hard to recommend. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I remember one time Isaac had asked me, he was like, why don't you recommend it? And I told him like just a little bit of what happens in the book. And he was like jaw on the floor, like, why do you like it? And I'm like, because you don't understand the friendship and everything that goes on in that book.
I think that's for any book, like explaining the contents of it to someone that either doesn't read or just like hasn't like read, not hasn't read, but like hasn't read. Explaining the contents of a book to someone who either hasn't read or hasn't read that book is so hard because unless you're in the book and reading the writing style, it's just, you can't really explain it.
That's with anything though. I told Sarah that over the weekend I was bored and I was quizzing Isaac on my bookshelves, and one of them, I asked him what my favorite Magnolia Parks book was, and he said the first one.
Yeah, that was so
Bless
funny.
His heart. And then I started explaining to him why The Great Undoing is my favorite book, and I read him the quote. Oh my God, the quote with the painting above the mantle and the whole entire thing.
But she's the clamshell.
Yeah. And I was explaining to him, I said, okay, but let me explain this to you. So this is what happens in the first book. And then you kind of have a mix of timelines between The Long Way Home and The Great Undoing. But in The Long Way Home, you're just seeing Magnolia's point of view of this thing. But then in this book, you see somebody else's point of view of this thing. It's completely different.
His brain is
and I was explaining to him, and he was just looking at me like,
you lost him.
So even a romance book, it's like sometimes it's hard to explain it to somebody. Like, I
think unless you're reading some books, it's like you don't get it really until you read it. So.
And he's never reading them. He's just like, I can't believe he's missing out on that. That was like around Christmas time, me and my dad were in the bookstore because I was filming a video that has never seen the light of day with my family. And my dad was like, I forget what he said, but I said, I wish you read books or at least listened to the audiobooks. I think my dad would love 11/22/63. And I told him, it is a TV show on Hulu. I want you to read the book, though. Like, I want you to read the book and then watch the show because I just feel like the book's going to be way better. And he was like, well, how long's the book? Like, because my dad works really long hours. So he was like, maybe, like, I could, do audiobook. And I was like,
thinking 200 pages.
Yeah, I was like, well, the book's like 700 something pages. And he was like, excuse me? Like, I don't even know if my dad's ever read a book. Like, I think maybe the Bible.
It honestly might be better because if he watches it first, because that's how I got Chris to read his first book. He liked the show so much that I was like, okay, now read it. And it was helped him, like, visualize while he was reading.
Yeah.
And, like, understand it. So I want to swap with Chris, like swap books. Not like, what does he read? I don't know. He'd give me nonfiction, but I want to make him read a book again because he had a great experience with that. And then, like, he's gonna remember where we were together and I was like, Chris, where are you? And he was at Barnes and Noble. He was getting Crooked Kingdom and he never finished it. But
I think the only person I could do that with is my brother. I feel like the only person I could get to read
I feel like
books that I read is him because he does like reading. He reads like one book a year that's just like a regular book. So he'll read nonfiction. But a lot of the times if he will recommend me a book that he has seen somebody else talk about and he will ask me to read it to then tell him what happens in the book. Yeah, like that's his way around it. He's like, hey.
I think you should do it with him though.
I know. And the thing is that I think it's just that books I would recommend them are so long. But what I do to my family, though, if there's a TV show or movie, I'll be like, just watch it, and I'll be annoying and tell you every single way that it's different. Like, that's what me and my mom did with Daisy Jones and the Six. I would literally finish the episode, and I would tell her why none of that was in the book. And by the way, guys, I just want everybody to know that I finally re-downloaded TikTok.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I re-downloaded TikTok. And
she's back, guys.
I'm so back. And
I can finally send them to you in the app and not over text. This is amazing. Oh, now that I know this. Oh, this is amazing.
She's back on TikTok. My For You page is terrifying because I've been off of it for so many months that it's just like if you first download TikTok, like they don't even know you anymore. So I was going through my saves to try to like interact with my saved and reposts to kind of like try to get the algorithm to like give me stuff like that. And I fell down the rabbit hole of Hunger Games, so I'm gonna unhealthily be. She's so back in the worst way possible. Also, and this is what I mean. I'm going through the Hunger Games phase. I'm rewatching old Emma Chamberlain videos. When I say we're back in the worst way possible, that's what I mean, and that's where we'll end off.
That was crazy timing, so my camera just died.
Sorry that we're now audio.
I'm sorry, guys. It was like almost perfect timing.
I'm going to pop up some type of graphic on the screen.
That's funny. Put Pipple up. Can I be Pipple, please?
Yeah, I'll Photoshop that.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys for listening. Dale. And what did we talk about? I was about to say, can we recap? Let us know what you did for Valentine's Day. Yeah, that was like an episode where I don't remember anything. I just kind of blacked out for a second. Let us know what you did for Valentine's Day. How was your day? Let us know any new release news that you have for us that we may have missed. And answer if you would rewrite, reread, or reshelve some of these books.
Yep.
And welcome Destiny back onto TikTok.
Yeah, we're so back. I'm so scared, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes. Thank you, guys.
Okay, guys. We love you.
Love you.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.